If I had to guess, these 10 teams have the brightest futures in the NBA. Some are already good while others are currently rising, so I wanted to talk about them all in one video. Many of these teams don't get the media attention they deserve, but today I wanted to talk about them so we can give them that media attention they deserve, and that's why we're talking about what NBA teams have the brightest futures. I have to say, the Utah Jazz are only going to have a bright future if they end up with the number 1 overall pick within the next 2 seasons. In clearer terms, they need to draft a generational talent soon, or mediocrity is where they will remain. Can't say the future is too bright until after the draft lottery, but considering they have solid young players such as Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, Taylor Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, and Walker Kessler, all solid young players. However, look at them as the centerpieces of a young rising team, and then you understand their record. They just need that one centerpiece and their future grows massively. So I'm going to put them here as one of the teams with a bright future, since I believe they will end up with a high draft pick this year and can get that generational talent. At least I hope so. The Chicago Bulls took the whole basketball world by storm the last 2 weeks with how well Josh Giddey and Kobe White played, and rightfully so, but they've been playing really well all season. A team that has had so many issues over the years finally has a promising future, as their backcourt of the future is now set, assuming they retain Josh Giddey in the offseason, which I believe they will. They have a true scorer and a great playmaker, and it shows in their offense, as the team offensively has a great foundation and is set up well to put up numbers on the board for the long haul. But if they find a way to defend long term with solid 3-and-D players at the 3 and 4, along with a true anchor at the 5, the Bulls' future looks dangerous. This offseason will tell us a lot about how the Bulls will look over the next few seasons, as if they can't defend, they won't win. But if they figure out how to find defense and put it alongside their guards, this team's future will be scary, and, well, the Bulls will be a shockingly good team within the next 2-3 seasons. Trae Young's future in Atlanta may be uncertain, but looking at the foundation they have set in stone right now, the Atlanta Hawks' future seems bright regardless of whether Trae wants to be a part of it or not. You look at Jalen Johnson as a player who could have been an all-star this year if it weren't for his injury. He is an amazing young forward that will be bringing production in Atlanta for years to come. Now you have your rookie Zachary Reese-Asher, who isn't really going to be a superstar by any means, but he will be a consistent 18 a night with quality defense as a high IQ 3-and-D player. Dyson Daniels is going to be on the defensive first team every year, and with that, you have a young trio that has been established, but any player can complement them, which makes them so good as a foundation. Almost forgot about Onyeka Okongwu, but with Trae Young, I don't think he will leave, as this foundation is strong, but the Hawks also have so much money coming off the books this offseason, allowing them to make some crazy splashes in free agency, and ultimately, looking at the youth of the team overall, the Atlanta Hawks' future is one of the brightest in the NBA. I think we can all agree that Detroit basketball is back and firing on all cylinders, as Cade Cunningham being a superstar now, combined with the emergence of veterans signed in the offseason, along with the young and hungry players they have, has made the Pistons' future look brighter than ever. The scary part about them is that they still can improve the roster mightily, as they don't have a true established running mate for Cade, who could be acquired this summer. We don't know. Either way, Detroit is only going to get better, and that's why they have one of the brightest futures in the NBA. No one wants to talk about nor watch the Washington Wizards, but today I do, because I think the Wizards are finally on the right path forward. They've been very good in the draft over the past 2 seasons, as they've successfully landed future lead guards in Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George, very good forward and versatile one at that in Bilal Coulibaly, and either the power forward or center of the future in Alex Sarr. Now that Washington is adding positive veteran presences around the young players, we are seeing their potential and flashes of stardom even more. After trading a negative in Kuzma, they landed Chris Middleton, who is a positive vet, along with a high-potential guard in A.J. Johnson. They also added Marcus Smart for the remainder of the year. This Wizards team has so much potential to shine in the future, and it looks bright, although nobody wants to watch them over the remainder of this season specifically. De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama are going to be one of the best young duos in the NBA, but to see how good Stephon Castle is already, and to add that to the solid young core they already have that will probably draft another valuable piece in this year's draft, as it is loaded with talented players that could perfectly fit in the system, it is an absolute scary sight for the league if the Spurs aren't already viewed upon as one of the scary teams of the future. Seeing that they might be in the top 5 of the draft again, the Spurs have the potential to do some crazy things depending on what type of player they are seeking. The only players that shouldn't be considered are Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, and Jeremiah Fears, as they're the only ones that wouldn't be able to fit with the team. Everyone else that could go within the top 7, I would love in San Antonio and could fit the young core of the future that is already looking amazing. Deni Avdija is now the center of attention of the Portland Trail Blazers rebuild. If you are unfamiliar with what he's been doing, over the last 11 games he's played, 26 points a game, 11 rebounds, and just under 6 assists a night. This is on 53, 48, 81 shooting splits too. This is superstar production right now that is just not being discussed enough. He is the main focus in Portland now, but you cannot forget about the elite young guards they have, as Shaedon Sharpe is playing very well, Anthony Simons is amazing, and Scoot Henderson is slowly changing the narrative around him. Deni complements and amplifies the 3 guards to a point where they are better because of him. A player in his 5th season is helping players with all the potential in the world grow. If it weren't for him, the Portland Trail Blazers' future would be suspect right now, as the guards were not hitting their potential in the slightest, despite some flashes. Now we are seeing the young guards slowly tap into their potential, and the growth of Deni himself, putting it all together, that should be a scary sight for the NBA. Defense isn't going to be a problem because Toumani Camara is an absolute lockdown defender, putting everyone in his box. Then if they do what they should and give Donovan Clingan the proper amount of minutes, the defense is going to have an interior presence and a perimeter pressure that will allow them to be a sustainable defense with the elite offensive players already on the team. The future in Portland is blindingly bright, as they have a strong foundation for a team, and the versatility they have in their lineup and on the roster makes any doubt about them really insignificant, as they are going to take the NBA world by storm very soon. But they already have, if we're being honest. If the Houston Rockets are not one of the best young teams in the league already, I don't know what they are. They have a surplus of young and hungry players, while their 2 best players are still young in their own right. Adding all of these young wings, such as Amen Thompson, has made the potential of the team just grow significantly. If the Rockets are not an elite team within the next 2 seasons that is feared in the playoffs, it is going to be the lack of shooting that is the reason why. However, that issue is correctable, and understanding that the Rockets have been very good at adding players to fit with their team, whether it be signing or drafting them, it is clear the Rockets will be good for the future, as it is bright. Paolo and Franz are one of, if not the best young duo in the NBA right now. They both can give you 30 a night with 5 rebounds and 5 assists like it's nothing. To think about the numbers they both put up and then come to the realization that they have absolutely no floor spacing nor room to operate is just a crazy thing to think about. When they were healthy this season, they were looked at as one of the better teams in the East. Now they have fallen due to health, but make no mistake, if the Magic add shooting and stay healthy, they will be one of the most feared teams in the East as they continue to improve top to bottom. The last team that we have to mention is the team that is currently dominating the NBA and only has brightness with their draft capital and team build. The Oklahoma City Thunder's president is bright, but the future is even brighter with room for error, which is crazy. And with that, the 10 teams with the brightest futures in the NBA concludes. Let me know which team you think has the brightest future or the future you're most excited about. Me personally, I am really invested in the Portland Trail Blazers right now, but all of these teams but the Jazz really have my investment long term and in the short. If you want to watch my weekly recap called In Case You Missed It that drops every Monday at 3, the latest episode is on the upper left, while my top 14 NBA draft prospects for 2025 video is on the upper right. Y'all stay safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.